Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to Bosses Only, the video series where we look at just the bosses from a dungeon, because you're not stuck on trash, you're stuck on bosses. From the Feast of Shadows DLC, this is Naj-Caldeesh, and there's no side bosses in here, so here's the first boss, Poxito, and let's turn on the hard mode. So what's going on here? Look at all these squares on the floor. Every single one of these, if you step on them, will activate some kind of trap. You can see these sawblades rolling around. Watch out for those. If you get hit by one, especially on hard mode, it's probably going to instantly kill you. So you need to be careful of them going back and forth, and keep your eyes open and your head on a swivel at all times, because periodically the boss is going to throw out these little totems. Those totems will summon ghosts. They don't hurt so much, but they will tether players and drag them towards any of the pressure plates around the room, which will activate traps. It is absolutely vital that you prioritize killing these totems even over the boss. They've got to go, because after a while the boss stops attacking and he summons this big AoE thing which keeps expanding and expanding, and if there are any totems in the room when it explodes like that, people are going to die. You must prioritize the totems over everything else. Now, another thing you'll want to pay attention to is the adds that the boss spawns. The more you damage the boss, the more of these adds are going to spawn, because their spawns are health based, so literally they're just going to keep coming. So stay on top of the adds as well. Make sure you take out the little archers, but also the big skeleton beefcakes, because they've got a nasty conal attack that will do hell of damage to a teammate. In fact, you're about to see exactly what it does right there, and we've lost a teammate. But that was a practice. Let's see if we can't get a res. So tank, make sure you are taunting every add that spawns, and everybody else, make sure that you are focusing those adds down, as well as paying attention whenever the boss summons totems, because again, the totems have to go. Now, the only other major mechanic that this boss has is periodically he'll have like some magical glowing armor appear on his body, and he'll be completely invincible. The only way to break that armor is for the tank to stand in the path of one of these rolling saw blades so that it hits the boss and destroys the armor. Otherwise, he's just permanently invincible. And that is literally the extent of the mechanics for this fight. It's all about paying attention mostly to those totems, because as the fight goes on, he spawns more and more and more of them, and then when he does that great big expanding AoE thing, you're going to be in for a world of trouble if you haven't killed every single one. So at all costs, prioritize the totems. I can't overstate it enough. The totems are the thing that make this difficult. Here's another little totem. Make sure that we're killing it before he does his big AoE thing again. And keep an eye out for whenever he gets that armor and becomes invincible, because again, it's going to require the tank to lead the boss into the path of one of those saw blades. Getting hit by the saw blade will kill you, so be careful. Make sure the boss gets hit, but make sure you yourself don't get hit, because if the tank goes, it's probably going to be a group wipe. More totems, make sure we're taking them out. Watch out for the big conal attacks from the skeleton beefcakes and take those skeleton beefcakes down. And that is the priority for this fight. Prioritize the totems first, then any adds, then worry about the boss. There are no specific DPS checks or anything like that. It's just about add management, staying on top of the totems, and whenever the boss is invincible with that armor on him, leading him into the path of one of these moving saw blades so that the armor gets destroyed. And that is basically the extent of it, so I'm going to speed things up and not waste any more of your time. Here we go, blah-de-blah-de-blah, watch out for the big explodey thing, make sure you're killing the totems, yakety-schmackety. If he gets armor, lead him in front of a saw blade, blah 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 blah, very dank, and he is dead. Loot your lockpicks and all your other junk, and we'll move on to boss number 2, Voskrona Stonehulk Poxito. Poxito must be a family name, and of course let's turn on the hard mode. So, tank, you know the drill, as usual. Taunt it, turn it away from the group, everybody else start shooting it in the bum. Tank, it's very important that you maintain taunt at all times on this boss, because of this great big gigantic conal flamethrower thing. It goes on for a few seconds, it will absolutely decimate the rest of your team. You simply need to point it away from everybody else and hold block, and you should be just fine. Now, the boss is going to spawn adds during the fight. Here's one over there. Take them out, but be careful. Try to kill them while they're right at the edge of the room, because whenever these guys die, they're going to leave a great big pool around their feet that just sort of stays there, and if the boss goes in it, they'll be invincible. The boss also does something very similar to a Dragon Knight's standard of might, so be aware of that and don't get in it. Tank should probably be fine just holding block in there, but everybody else stay out of it, because it's AoE flame damage and it bloody hurts. Another add, let's make sure we're taking out, and remember, don't let the boss get in those pools or the boss will become invincible. Same for any adds that end up in one of those pools. Try not to let them go in it, don't let them stack together, because any add that's in that pool is going to be invincible, and players, you need to also stay out of those pools or you'll take damage, so just watch out for them. Try to kill adds around the edge of the room to give yourself some clear space, because the more of these that you have all around the room, the less safe places you're going to have to stand. Next up, this mechanic. It's a lot less complicated than it looks. The boss himself will become invincible, and he'll spawn a little skull in the middle of the room. You can see that tether going out to other adds. Try not to touch it or it'll damage you. Also watch out for these pulsating rings of damage coming out from the skull. Try not to dodge roll, you'll still take damage, but you can block self-heal, whatever you need to do to stay alive. Just don't dodge roll because you'll still take damage. Keep moving, stay mobile, because if you touch the tether that goes to any of the adds, that will damage you. And remember, when you're killing the adds, every time an add dies, it leaves one of these pools of invincible causing damaging poo stuff on the floor with the big piece of poo in the middle of it. So watch out for those. Try, if you can, to kill the adds as close to the edge of the room as you can, otherwise you end up with a lot of areas of denial where it's not safe to stand all over the room. But as long as you stay mobile and pay attention to your surroundings, you'll be able to just stay in clear ground and keep focusing on the boss. And that is pretty much it for the mechanics up until there's just over a quarter of the boss's health remaining. Then things are going to change again, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For the meantime, it's basically rinse and repeat. When the boss becomes invincible and this skull appears, watch out for the pulsating rings of damage. Do not dodge roll because you'll take damage. Only blocking and spamming heals is going to help you there. Watch out for the tether that goes from the skull to any add. Don't walk into the tether because you'll take damage. And we've had a whoopsie, so let's just speed things up until we're alive again. Here you can really see the pulsing damage things. Make sure that you don't dodge roll those, as I said before, and the tethers, don't walk into them because of the damage that they do. So we're back up. Let's carry on. It's the same thing. The boss is currently invincible. We're going to need to take out adds until this mechanic ends and the little skull disappears. Boss is doing that standard of might again. Remember, don't stand in that. Tank could probably get away with standing in it and blocking, but the rest of you definitely can't. Just keep away. And remember, don't let the adds walk into the poo circles left behind by previous adds, or they'll become invincible. Similarly, Tank, don't accidentally bring the boss into any of those poo circles, because if he gets in one, he'll be invincible. So just watch out for all of that. Keep your eye on the floor and keep avoiding those poo circles at all costs. We're almost to the final phase of this fight. When the boss has just a bit more than a quarter of his health remaining, everything is going to change. There's going to be a skull in the center of the room, and this time it's not going away. There's going to be the tether going out to adds. Don't touch those tethers because you'll take damage. There's going to be the constant pulsating rings of damage coming out from the skull. Remember, do not, I can't overstate this enough, do not dodge roll, or you'll end up dead. You still take damage. Only blocking and spamming heals like crazy is going to work. We've almost got him now. This final phase of the fight is very, very chaotic because everything's happening all at once. So you just have to stay as mobile as you possibly can. Watch for clear space on the ground that you can stand in. Don't get near any of those invincibility poo circles, and eventually you'll win like this, even if you're asleep. So that's super dank. Let's res ourselves, go loot our lockpicks and all of our other junk, and we will move on to the third and final boss of this dungeon, Talen-Lah. And of course, let's turn on the hard mode. So what's going on here? Tank, you know the usual drill. Go taunt and turn him away from everybody else. Everybody else start shooting him in the bum. And you can see that the boss isn't just one guy. He's also got this gigantic pet rolling around and around and around the outside of the room. Watch out for him and stay away from him and focus on this little bloke in the middle, at least for now. Now, this boss is much like the first boss, going to spawn dozens of little stupid annoying skeleton adds. There's going to be ones with swords, ones with bows and arrows, and they all cause all kinds of chaos. So keep your eye on them, try to take them out if you can, but mostly you need to focus on the boss. One big mechanic you need to watch out for, and the tank can't do anything about this, the boss is going to choose any random player and just make a beeline for them. He's doing it now, and while he's doing it, all of these little poo circles are going to be radiating out from him, so either walk behind him or back up away from those circles to avoid being hit. You also saw that great big rolling boulder thing crossing the room just there. That was coming from the big gigantic guy that's been rolling around the room. At the moment you can basically ignore him, but you need to watch out for him rolling around the room, leaving poo everywhere and launching boulders and all of that kind of stuff. Again, the boss beelines for somebody and all these little poo circles radiate out from him. Just watch out for those and stay on top of adds as best as you can, because as you can see, there's a lot of them. They just keep coming and they're going to cause more problems for you even than the boss, quite honestly, just because there are so many of them and they're all doing all kinds of AoEs and smacks and bow and arrow attacks and conal things. It's just all going on all of the time. It's very chaotic, but it's manageable as long as you stay on top of adds as best as you can. But note that adds just keep on coming, so you want to try to stay on top of them but not make them your primary focus. You really need to focus on Talen-Lah himself while you can, because once you get him down to around about 70% health, he's going to merge with the great big thing and you're going to have to fight that instead. So for the time being, stay on top of adds. Watch out for all the things rolling around the room, all the different AoEs, all the different things that it spawns, and watch out for this attack right here. It's quite awful. It puts damage on everybody. You just need to sort of run around and stay away from all those poos and try not to overlap with each other, or both people will take damage from both. It's quite terrible. Again, the boss is going to slam his weapon down. He's going to spawn great big skeleton beefcakes that will attack you. Watch out for all that stuff, and watch out for when he does that thing where the tank can't intercept it and he just walks at somebody and all these poo circles come swirling out of him. Try to stay behind him, in front of him, to the side of him. Just don't be in the path of all those swirling poo circles. He's about to do that mechanic one more time right before he finally merges with the big guy, so just watch out, be behind him, watch out for all the poo circles. You see the big guy going around the room now. Behind him he is leaving these permanent poo circles, and you won't be able to go to the outer edge of the room anymore once the big guy comes in, which is happening right now. The outside area of the room is now completely unsafe. Don't go out there. You are also going to see on every player these circles go around you, which when they explode leave the same kind of poo circle behind, but unlike the ones around the outside of the room, they aren't permanent. They'll just be there for a few seconds before they disappear. Just watch out for them, don't get yourself stuck in them, and try to place them as close to the edge as you can so that you're not creating huge areas of denial for yourself all over the place. You're still going to have small adds to deal with, but your main focus now is going to be this great big guy. So just tank as usual, taunt him, turn him away from everybody else, shoot him in the bum. Watch out for all the various attacks he does. He slams his fists down, he creates AoE circles, he launches little swirling poo circles across the floor, all kinds of dangerous stuff. It's all really awful. Here's a great big Sonic the Hedgehog attack that he does. He'll go boulder dashing across the room, watch out for that. And periodically, Talen-Lah himself is going to reappear and do the walking across the room thing with all the swooshy poo circles, so you need to be careful of that as well. And while that's going on, the big guy is going to roll around the outside of the room, leaving poo circles everywhere and doing all of that stuff again. So now we've got Talen-Lah back, and it's exactly the same as before. Watch out for all the various AoEs and slams that he does. Every time he does that, one of those big skeleton beefcakes is going to appear with the swords or the bows and arrows or whatever the hell else they've got. There's going to be even more poo circles, conal attacks, and damage over time effects to watch out for. It's very, very chaotic. You really just need to stay mobile, keep your head on a swivel, watch out for all the various poos flying across the room, and try to stay focused on Talen-Lah as best as you can. And this is going to happen a few times throughout the fight. They're going to flip-flop. You'll be fighting this guy, then you'll be fighting the great big guy, blah, 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 until you get down to roughly around 40 to 30% health, at which point you're going to have to fight both of them simultaneously, which is going to mean paying even more attention and being even more mobile, because not only will you have Talen-Lah doing all of these various things that he keeps doing, you're going to have the big guy with all of his big meaty arm slaps and other things, poo circles, all going on all at once. I would argue that this is still an easier fight than the very first one in here, but you really do have to pay attention. Once again, we're back on the big guy. So the outside of the room isn't safe to stand in, and you're going to have these poo circles. Make sure you place them near the edge and then get the hell out of them. Try not to have them all over the floor. Tank, try to keep this guy turned away from everybody else. Watch out for the big fist slap. It's all very painful, but as you can see, it's very sort of a rinse and repeat. It's just an awful lot of adds and mechanics all going off all at once. It's a lot to pay attention to. And from here on out, we are going to have that big area of denial around the outside of the room permanently there, and we're going to be stuck in this much smaller, safe fighting area, and we're going to be fighting both guys from here on out. It's recommended that you take out Talen-Lah first, so try to tab target and focus on him if you can. Get rid of him as quickly as possible, and you won't have to worry about the walking swooshy mechanic or any of the other dots and other things that he does, and no more ads will be getting spawned because he's the one that's spawning ads. If you can get him taken out, then you can easily take your time on the big guy, because he isn't anywhere near as bad. Aside from the rolling boulders and the big fist slams that you can easily get out of, there's not so much to pay attention to. And again, you want to watch out for this move where there's going to be pulsing damage on everybody. Just stay moving, don't stay still in that, don't run into other players. Keep your eye out for rolling boulders and other things from the big guy while you're focusing down Talen-Lah, and pretty much that is it from here on out. Watch out for the poo circles whenever he does those, place them as close to the edge as you can. Whenever a bunch of ads come out, try to just kill them as quickly as possible, because the more ads that are running around, the more problems you're going to have. Each of those, of course, brings their own problems with their bows and arrows and their heavy attacks and everything else on top of the boss and the great big guy. Another of those poo circles. Make sure that they're near the edge of the room. Don't create areas of denial all around the room for you. Big guy does his fist slam. It's basically this, rinse and repeat until the end now. It's very, very chaotic. You're fighting both of them at once. You're having to deal with a lot of mechanics, a lot of AoEs and radiating, damaging things sliding across the floor. All you can really do here is stay mobile, spam your heals like crazy, and just watch out for yourself. It's very, 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 very chaotic, as I said. So yeah, that's it. We're just hanging out for the end at this point. Ooh, another big slam. Don't get knocked out there. That would suck. So yeah, how's it going? If you're watching hundreds of years in the future, is ESO still up? Or like if you're like some futuristic digital archaeologist looking at ancient video games, what did you think of this one? Would you like to see it brought back? There's probably an emulator for it in the year 70,000, who knows? Almost got him, there we go. Talen-Lah's dead, you don't even have to worry about the other guy, he'll just bugger off, and that's it. Loot your lockpicks, you have won! Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe and press the bell so you never miss a video. And here's some other videos that you can choose from that I'll stick on the screen, and there's the thingy with all the socials that you can follow if you want. There's X, and here's Instagram. Of course, YouTube is about to be there, which I don't know why I keep that here, because here you are on YouTube. And don't forget to check out the stream at twitch.tv/Kattatonia. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Bosses Only.